Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Houston Texans have signed quarterback E.J. Perry, who the Houston Texans did claim off of waivers from the Jacksonville Jaguars in March, and then after the Texans decided to make some roster moves in May, I think they were trying to sign somebody and they needed to waive somebody, so they waived E.J. Perry, and now the Texans do something similar here. You saw the Texans, I can't remember when it was like May or maybe it was June. No, it was sometime in May, it was like after E.J. Perry got waived. The Texans waived someone they had signed in like April, Eric Tomlinson, a tight end, and then just a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, probably a couple days after training camp started, the Houston Texans ended up signing Eric Tomlinson, and he is still on the roster 3 weeks later, and he's listed as like third or fourth on our depth chart at tight end. I think he had like one reception in the first preseason game, and he's still on the roster. The Texans made a lot of roster moves today. Yesterday, they waived the kicker Jake Bates, who was the kicker on Thursday's preseason game because Kaimi Fairbairn was not kicking for the Texans. So they waived him. So that opened up the roster spot. Then they released Xavier Valladay, running back, and then Kendall Sheffield, cornerback. So then they had 3 roster spots open. So they picked up E.J. Perry, Adam Humphries, wide receiver, and then another wide receiver named Victor Bolden Jr. So Texans added in 3 faces. One guy who is familiar with E.J. Perry because he's already been on the roster. He was on the roster for 2 months, maybe a month and a half. A month and a half. He was on the roster when the Texans claimed him off of waivers and then waived him, and now he's back on the roster. And then they picked up some veteran wide receivers. Victor Bolden Jr. has not played in an actual NFL game since 2018, but Adam Humphries has had some solid years in the NFL with the Titans and the Buccaneers. So, I thought there was some solid transactions by the Texans today. Maybe get an extra quarterback for Saturday's game against the Miami Dolphins. I don't know how to feel about this. Because I'm going to Saturday's game, and I paid for the tickets, and I like E.J. Perry. I think he's a solid quarterback, but it makes me nervous that with maybe a 4th quarterback in the room, that maybe potentially you're going to see maybe one of the quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud or Case Keenum or Davis Mills start to play less in Saturday's preseason matchup against the Miami Dolphins. I certainly don't want to see C.J. Stroud play. C.J. Stroud will not play less because he only played 2 series. He only played 2 series in Thursday's game against the Pats, but I want to see CJ. I want to see the most we can see of C.J. Stroud. I know it's not going to happen. I would love to see C.J. Stroud play the whole first half. I know that's not going to happen. Most likely, we'll see C.J. Stroud probably play 3 to 5 series, maybe, the first quarter and then like half of the second quarter. Probably that's what we'll see of C.J. Stroud on Saturday's preseason game. And then you'll see Davis Mills for like the rest of the second quarter, like the last 6.5 minutes, last 7.5 minutes of the second quarter, and then see Mills for like half of the third quarter, see Mills for like the first drive or two of the third quarter, and then you see Case Keenum for like the rest of the third quarter, and then a little bit of the fourth quarter, and then E.J. Perry comes in for like the last 7 minutes of the ball game, and if you do it like that with the quarterback system in week 2 of the preseason, everybody's kind of playing a little bit. C.J. Stroud's playing the most, playing a full quarter and a quarter, and then a half of a quarter. So C.J. Stroud's playing a quarter and a half. Davis Mills is playing a half a quarter, and then and then Davis Mills is playing Davis Mills was playing like 3. Davis Mills is playing almost a full quarter, but not really. And then Case Keenum is playing the rest of the third quarter and a little bit of the fourth quarter, so a half a quarter, and then. And then you see E.J. Perry for like the last couple drives of the game. I don't think going that route with the quarterback system is not that bad for week 2 of the preseason. If that made sense, for me it didn't make sense talking about it. But I don't know why the Texans didn't do this for Thursday's game. I think it would have been better to do this in Thursday's game, where you weren't going to play C.J. Stroud as much as you potentially were next Saturday, because C.J. only played the first 2 drives of the ball game. So Case Keenum played a lot in the ball game, because you didn't see Davis Mills a lot. Because if I'm not mistaken, did Case Keenum play the whole second half on Thursday? No, he didn't. Yeah, Case Keenum played the whole second half on Thursday. So Case Keenum played at quarterback for the Texans from 11 minutes to go in the third quarter, because the Texans did not get the ball for the first time on Thursday in the second half until 11 minutes were remaining in the third quarter, until all the way till the game was over. So, I mean, the Texans had time to play 2 quarterbacks in the second half, with C.J. Stroud and Davis Mills being done after the first half. I think it would have been perfect for the Texans to get E.J. Perry some action in week 1 of the preseason. But now the Houston Texans will probably play E.J. Perry, quarterback who they picked up, who was on the roster for 2 months and was in the UCFL as well, in the USFL as well. And he'll probably get some action in the preseason matchup against the Miami Dolphins on Saturday, which I'm okay with. I think this is a solid signing for the Houston Texans. You have your thoughts on the addition. I am upset the Texans did release running back Xavier Valladay. I wanted to see more from him, but I do understand it, because the Texans do have a full running back room. They have at running back, they have Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary, and then Mike Boone looked really good on Thursday for the Texans at running back, and DeRay Ungabalaway, who the Texans probably view, as a better running back than Valladay. So I think they kind of knew there wasn't really of a chance for the Texans to keep him on the roster. So it makes sense why the Texans let go of him, but just sucks, because I thought he could have been something special, because he's been great throughout camp for the Texans. But besides that, I mean, I like the transaction moves that the Texans made today. You guys have your thoughts. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Texans.